Hey y'all, it's Lindsey. We're gonna do a what I eat in a day video today. I follow a keto-friendly lifestyle and I've been doing this for 8.5 years. It's my full-blown way of life and kind of my everyday baseline. So I thought I would just share with you a run-of-the-mill kind of a day. I have had black coffee so far. I'm working through my third cup right here. I do drink a lot of coffee. So there's that. This has about a third of the cup still left, but whenever I tip it, I'm gonna spill it and I'd rather not do that. So that's what I've had so far, along with half a scoop of the True Endurance pre-workout from Performance Gains. This is the Sour Berry Punch flavor, and it has no caffeine in it. I really, really like this pre-workout, but I can only tolerate about a half scoop. So that means it lasts twice as long. Sometimes I go for a third and that's just sufficient. So anyway, this lasts me a really long time and I really like the flavor and I really like the effect that I get from it. So that's all fun and games. Today, I think I'm gonna start my food with a yogurt bowl. Really simply, I'm gonna do that. And I have been making Greek yogurt for myself for well over a decade at this point. But I decided to change it up a little bit and make skyr. Now, skyr is an Icelandic cheese, I guess technically, but it has the similar consistency to like Greek yogurt. So I thought that's a fun adventure. Let's do that. It has a higher protein content, but also a higher carb content in just like whole milk, plain skyr. And I think traditionally it's used with skim milk because they skim the cream off and use that. And then they use the leftover skimmed milk for making skyr. But I got a starter. I made mine similarly to my Greek yogurt, and I used it with the Fairlife milk, just like I make my regular Greek yogurt. So I hope that means that the carb count is significantly reduced. I only used about 2 tablespoons of my starter in this batch of skyr, and everything else was the Fairlife milk. And I also think that will increase the protein even higher because of the fact that it is a higher protein milk to start with. But also, I don't have any way of testing any of this information. This is all just me trying to work it out in my brain. So take that for what it's worth. I'm gonna go make this and we'll talk about it. So the container of skyr said that it was 8 grams of carbs, 18 grams of protein for a 170 gram serving. And so I'm going to just sort of like go from there and just assume that there are fewer carbs and slightly more protein. But I'm going to use the 170 gram serving size. So I'm going to reverse weigh that here on my scale. Okay, skyr in the bowl, hot dog. Here I have the Marigold Collagen Peptides. This is the horchata flavor. I really like this one in the yogurt. It's like fantastic. Now, this is a collagen, which means that it is an incomplete protein source, but that doesn't mean it doesn't give you benefits when it comes to, you know, your health composition goals and whatnot. It's good for your gut. It talks about how it can be helpful for like hair, skin, nails, joints, all kinds of stuff. I am going to use 2 scoops because technically 2 scoops is a serving. And there's just something super nice about this cinnamon flavor. There are other things that I've tried that have been cinnamon flavored, like the Perfect Keto MCT oil powder, that have not been my favorite, but there's something about this horchata that I just really like. So, all right, so I've got that, and I'm just gonna get that mixed up. This is the simplest thing on the planet, honestly. Just some skyr and some collagen peptides from Marigold, and we're there. It's a good time. All done. Time to go eat, and I'll see you later. Lunchtime. Here I have a single serving of chicken enchiladas, but it's like sour cream chicken enchiladas. I did not actually wrap the filling up into my little keto tortillas that I have. I do have a recipe video and a printable recipe on my website if you would like to see how I make those. But in here, it's just some chicken, some colorful peppers, a little bit of some Colby Jack cheese, and there's sour cream enchiladas, so there's obviously sour cream in there. It's a nice high protein type of meal. And then right there I have my salty electrolytes, and that's the zesty orange today. Those chicken enchiladas were so good. I love sour cream chicken enchiladas. But that batch was not quite as filling. I only had 2 of my keto tortilla replacements whenever I was building out a bunch of different things. So it was a little skimpy. Normally I use 4 of my tortilla replacements in order to fill that size of container. So I've made myself a little something more, and that would be some peanut butter toast. The toast here is a psyllium husk bread recipe that I've been just playing around with, trying to make it as simple and straightforward as I possibly can for myself. If I actually succeed, I will be sure to share that with you. And then I added some of the Smucker's creamy peanut butter. It's a natural peanut butter and it just has peanuts in it, maybe a touch of salt, but there's nothing else added to it. I have enjoyed this one quite a lot, and it's a little bit faster than having to mix up peanut butter powder and then get just all the ratios exactly where I want it. Sometimes it's nice to have something in the pantry just ready to grab. Hey, it's mid-afternoon, and we had a pretty solid little rain shower come through here just a little bit ago. I was working on prepping up dinner. I'm making what I call Monterey chicken. When we used to go to Chili's back, in the early 2000s, they had a dish called Monterey chicken. It was just like, a piece of chicken, had some tomatoes, like diced up tomatoes on it. It had bacon on it. It had cheese on top. It was delicious. I loved it. So I started making that for myself at home. And that's one of the dishes that carried through from my standard American way of life through to keto, because it was perfectly keto friendly. As I was prepping the food, I was like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and, grab a cup of coffee and sit out on the front porch once I'm done with this task. And then, I don't know if you probably can't hear the thunder, but yeah, the rain, it soaked my seat cushion. So feeling a touch of sadness about that. Sure, I could go grab a towel and, do all of that jazz, but it has crushed my spirits a little bit. But I will be having a cup of coffee, so I'm going to go make that. I do feel like having a little splash of some heavy cream. So there we go. Decaf coffee with a splash of cream. Dinner is that Monterey chicken I described to you earlier. I also made jalapeno poppers and sauteed broccoli and cauliflower. Dinner was good. The rain has finally stopped, so we're gonna go do our standard evening 2-mile walk. And yeah. It's gonna be good. To wind down for this evening, I'm gonna make some keto-friendly hot chocolate, and I'm using the Marigold collagen peptides for this as well. I really do enjoy this one as hot chocolate in the evening. 2 scoops is a serving, so I've got that going here, and then I'm gonna use 12 ounces of hot water. Now all that's left is to whiz this up with my little milk frother that I have here. It is rechargeable. I don't think I would recommend this one, to be honest. The little coils come off the actual frother end pretty easily, and I had to do a lot of finagling with it, so I don't recommend this one. Therefore, I'm not going to share it with you. But I am going to say I appreciate you watching, and if you haven't already, I would love to have you subscribe and stick around for a while. And I'm going to see you in my next video.